Domine nobis, Domine misericordiam tuam. Domine exaudi orationem meam. Dominus vobiscum. Oremus. Exaudi nos, Domine Sancter Pater Omnipotens Aeterni Deus, et mittere dignaris sanctum angelum tuum de celis, qui custodiat, foveat, protegat, visitet, atque defendat, omnes habitantes in hoc habitaculo, per Christum Dominum nostrum.
Factus est adiutor meus, Deus meus. Diligam te, Domine, fortitudo mea, Domine firmamentum meum et refugium meum.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Dominus vobiscum.
Et cum spiritu tuo.
Fratres, annuscamus peccata nostra, ut aptitimus ad sacra mysteri celebranda. Confitio de omnipotenti, et vobis fratris, qui peccavi nimis, cogitatione, verbo, opere et omissione, mea culpa, mea maxima culpa, ideo pecor beatam Mariam semper Virginem, omnes angelos et sanctos, et vos fratres orare pro me, ad Dominum Deum nostrum. Miseriatur nostri omnipotens Deus, et missi peccatis nostris, perducat nos ad vitam aeterna.
Amen.
Amen.
in excelsis Deo. Oremus. Deus, qui diligentibus te bona invisibilia preparasti, infunde cordibus nostris tui amoris affectum, ut te in omnibus et super omnia diligentes promissiones tuas, cui omne desiderium superant, consequamur, per Dominum nostrum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum, qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Spiritus Sancti, Deus per omnia saecula saeculorum.
Amen.
A reading from the book of the prophet Jeremiah. In those days, the princes said to the king, Jeremiah ought to be put to death. He is demoralizing the soldiers who are left in this city, and all the people, by speaking such things to them. He is not interested in the welfare of our people, but in their ruin. King Zedekiah answered, He is in your power, for the king could do nothing with them. And so they took Jeremiah and threw him into the cistern of the prince Micaiah, which was in the quarters of the guard, letting him down with ropes. There was no water in the cistern, only mud, and Jeremiah sank into the mud. Ebed-Melech, a court official, went there from the palace and said to him, My lord king, these men have been at fault in all they have done to the prophet Jeremiah, casting him into the cistern. He will die of famine on the spot, and there is no more food in the city. Then the king ordered Ebed-Melech the Cushite to take 3 men along with him and draw the prophet Jeremiah out of the cistern before he should die. Verbum Domini.
Lord, Lectura de la carta a los Hebreos. Hermanos, rodeados como estamos por la multitud de antepasados nuestros que dieron prueba de su fe, dejemos todo lo que nos estorba. Librémonos del pecado que nos ata para correr con perseverancia la carrera que tenemos por delante. Fija la mirada en Jesús, autor y consumador de nuestra fe. Él, en vista del gozo que se le proponía, aceptó la cruz sin temer su ignominia, y por eso está sentado a la derecha del trono de Dios. Mediten, pues, en el ejemplo de aquel que quiso sufrir tanta oposición de parte de los pecadores, y no se cansen ni pierdan el ánimo, porque todavía no han llegado ustedes a derramar su sangre en la lucha contra el pecado. Verbum Domini.
Dominus vobiscum.
Et cum spiritu tuo.
Sancto Lexus Sancti Evangelii secundum Luca. Gloria a tibi, Domine. Jesus said to his disciples, I have come to set fire on earth, and how I wish it were already blazing. There is a baptism with which I must be baptized, and how great is my anguish until it is accomplished. Do you think that I have come to establish peace on earth? No, I tell you, but rather division. From now on, a household of 5 will be divided, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. A father will be divided against his son, and a son against his father. A mother against her daughter, and a daughter against her mother. A mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. The Gospel of the Lord. Well, good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Just have a few announcements for you before we start. Tonight there is children and junior and youth oratory tonight at 7 p.m. It's a water games night, so please bring a towel and be prepared to get soaking wet. Esta noche es un día de una noche para los niños del juniors, jóvenes y los niños del oratorio. Esta noche a las 7 de la tarde y el tema es juegos de agua. ¿Sí? Juegos de agua. Y necesito una toalla y sea listo para convertir mojado. ¿Cómo se dice? Para mojarse, perfecto. Also, RCIA classes begin in September. Vamos a comenzar las clases para Rica en el septiembre. Hay información en la entrada de la iglesia. There's information in the entrance to the church for RCIA. Next Sunday, we'll have the first part of our recitals. Mary Klein will be playing the works of Schubert, Brahms, Rachmaninoff, and Rachmaninoff. There's more information in the entrance area of the church. El domingo que viene tenemos una recital. Uno de los primeros recitales en nuestra serie es Mary Klein, es una feligres aquí de San Antonio, y ella es una pianista, y ellos van a tocar los trabajos de Schubert, Brahms y Rachmaninoff. Hay información en la entrada de la iglesia. Tomorrow is the Feast of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. It's not a holy day of obligation, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't. Tomorrow it's not a holy day of obligation because it falls on a Monday, but we don't have to worry about all that, do we? We can still come to Mass and celebrate Our Lady's Day. So, mañana no es un día de precepto, mañana para la Asunción este año, porque es cuando es en el lunes, no es un mandamiento que necesitamos asistir, pero es un día bueno para asistir. No necesitamos un mandato del Señor para asistir, para honrar a nuestra Madre María. Entonces, so we have a Mass, the regular Mass schedule, 7:30 a.m. in English, bilingual, the Latin Mass at 12:15, and then we have a special Mass at 6 p.m. in English and a Mass at 7:30 in Spanish. Hay dos misas ordinarias, 7:30 es bilingüe, latín al mediodía, 12:15, y también una misa en inglés a las 6 y una misa en español a las 7:30 de la tarde. Also, we're starting a new after-school program called Scholastic Explorers. It begins in September, and it will run from Monday to Friday from 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. The Scholastic Explorers is completely free and open to children from grades 1 through 12. And the ushers will have flyers with more information, and you can stop by the table with one of the brothers to get more information. We also need volunteers, and it's really, we're going to have some fun and games for the kids, but mainly it's to tutor them and to pray with them each day and to tutor them after school each day. So it's really great, going to be a great program. Nuestro nuevo programa extracurricular llamado Exploradores Escolásticos comienza en septiembre y funcionará de lunes a viernes de 2:30 a 5:30 de la tarde. Exploradores Escolásticos es completamente gratis, está abierta para los niños del primer grado a 12º grado, y vamos a tener a maestros para ayudar a los niños con su tarea y para mejorar sus estudios, y también un poco de juegos después de school, después de las clases, durante todo el día, y también un poco tiempo para orar al Señor. So today, in place of the normal homily that we have oh, this is the wrong one. We have, where is it? Oh, it's missing. Oh, here it is, okay. In place of the normal homily, usually we have a sister or a priest or a brother come to do a mission appeal every year during the summer from all different missionary communities throughout the church. And today we have we have the Sisters of Notre Dame, but they couldn't be here, so they sent us a letter to read to all of you. It's a really beautiful letter. The work that they do throughout the world is really wonderful. And it's an opportunity that we have to support the work that they do. So in place of the homily, I'm going to read you their letter. En lugar de la homilía de hoy, vamos a continuar con las homilías sobre el Antiguo Testamento en el próximo fin de semana, pero hoy tenemos una carta de una monja de las hermanas de Notre Dame de los Estados Unidos. Son misioneros de todo el mundo, especialmente en África y India y los Estados Unidos. Entonces tenemos una oportunidad para apoyarlos. So during the second collection, instead of it being it's supposed to be for Peter's Pence today. If you have a Peter's Pence envelope, you can put that right in the first collection with your ordinary offering for the parish. And the second collection will be dedicated for the sisters. So I'll read you their letter. Si tiene una sobre para Peter's Pence, es la colecta para el Papa. Puede ponerlo en la primera colecta con la ordinaria colección, y en la segunda colecta puede poner un poco para las monjas. So voy a comenzar. Yo voy a leerlo solamente en inglés porque es un poco larga. Entonces, solamente ellos son misioneros muy hermosos en la iglesia. And here's the letter from Sister. Notre Dame Global Missions is a ministry of the Sisters of Notre Dame in the United States. Our efforts began in 1949 with a mission in Jamalapur, India, and has grown to include missions in Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, East Africa, and Papua New Guinea. Notre Dame Global Missions works to address challenges and to improve the lives of those living in extreme poverty. We are supported through prayer, service, and financial assistance from friends, donors, and the Sisters of Notre Dame. In 1992, our Indian sisters began their own mission in Tanzania, Africa, and in 1995, the American Sisters of Notre Dame began a mission in Uganda. In 2015, Indian, African, and American Sisters of Notre Dame in Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda joined together to become the East African Delegation. In this delegation, there are now 54 African Sisters of Notre Dame, and half of them are currently receiving their college education to prepare them for ministry among their own people. That gives us much hope for the future in Africa, where the Catholic Church is vibrant and growing. In Papua New Guinea, the Sisters of Notre Dame have been leaders in education, especially among young girls, since their arrival in 1961. The Sisters established a Notre Dame secondary school which educates 700 girls each year in grades 9 through 12. More than 7,000 young women have gone through the Notre Dame Secondary School since its opening in 1969. And this is really important because these opportunities otherwise would not be available to these girls and young women in many of these places. The sisters are empowering these young women through their work and are also instrumental in developing Christian leadership in the local parishes of Papua New Guinea. Most of Papua New Guineans who are professed sisters have become trained teachers. Pope Francis reminds us that all of us are called by baptism to be missionary disciples, which means being Jesus for others wherever we are. But some, like our sisters who are missionaries in foreign lands, are called in a particular way to carry out Jesus' command in Mark's Gospel, go out to all the world and tell the good news. Our missionaries accompany people in poverty. Like Jesus, they reach out to those who are in need, those who live in the margins of society. Our sisters live simple lives among the people, helping them in any way they can. Sister Sudha from India is a lawyer who lived for more than 20 years in a mud hut among the Musahar, which literally, the Musahar people, it means rat eaters. They are the lowest caste of people in India. You know, in India they have the caste system. They're the lowest caste of people. Sisters help the Musahar claim their rights and stand up against injustices against them. She has helped more than 2,000 girls to graduate from high school or skilled training centers and coordinates more than 1,000 self-help groups for women. Our missionaries accompany people disadvantaged by illiteracy. In Tanzania, Africa, Sister Rashmi began a school for Maasai tribal children who had never been to school before. What Maasai parents want most for their children is education. Sister first gathered the children under a tree to teach them, and gradually, with the help of generous donors, was able to build an ever-expanding school where young sisters of Notre Dame from Africa now teach. American school children have raised money for a school playground to be built in the barren land surrounding the school. Our missionaries accompany people ravaged by disease. When Sister Mukti, a nurse, went to minister in Africa, she learned that there were almost 2 million orphans in Tanzania alone. In the spirit of the foundress of our congregation, who herself was an orphan, Sister Mukti began to gather these orphans, a number of whom were HIV positive. With the help of compassionate donors, Sister Mukti has been able to build several home-like cottages where orphans experience the love of a house mother. Some of our American schools and individuals are sponsoring these girls to pay for their housing, education, and personal expenses so that they can go to school. Young sisters of Notre Dame from Africa are teaching the boarders and other children in a nearby Notre Dame school. What can we do to support the wonderful work of these missionaries? I think the first step is to be aware of the situation. It's so easy for us to get caught up in our own lives and to forget that most of the world doesn't have the advantages that we have. Hopefully, gratitude for all that we have will be the result of this awareness. Next, we need to pray. We can all be missionaries through our prayer. In this age of war, terrorism, and violence, I find it helpful to pray the news. As I read stories or watch the news unfold on TV, I lift the people up to God in prayer and ask God to support them. It's also good to know that our missionaries are praying for us. Our missionary sisters know that I'm speaking to you on their behalf. They're praying for all of us and will continue to do so. We count on each other and our mutual support in prayer and concern. Third, we can share. Even a modest gift can make a huge difference. I thank you in the name of the missionary sisters and the people they serve. May God bless you and your family and your families and give you missionaries of heart, the Sisters of Notre Dame. It's beautiful, right? They not only teach the young girls and things, but they also are having women become sisters, and then they teach their own people. Really beautiful. You go from a school under a tree with a sister from another country teaching you to a big school now staffed by people who once went to that school. Isn't that beautiful? And all the wonderful work they're doing for the orphans and for these young girls that otherwise would not be able to go to school. So anyway, and it's also, a lot of people don't realize what the Catholic Church does, like in places like India, where they have the caste system and the Hindus won't have anything to do with the lower caste people. It's the Catholic Church that reaches out. It's why that many of this lower caste are converting and becoming Catholic, because they see the love the Church has for all people without distinction, without caste systems or any other kind of discrimination or things. So the sisters are really doing a beautiful job. So we thank the sisters for sharing their story with us, and whatever you can do to help, but definitely we'll all pray for the sisters and for the great work that they're doing, because prayer is the most important thing that we can do. Credo in unum Deum. Orate fratres, umem sum sacrificium acceptabile, fiat apud Deum Patrem omnipotentem. Suscipe Domine munera nostra, quibus exercentur commercia gloriosa, ut offerentes qua dedisti, te ipsum meriamur accipere, per Christum Dominum nostrum. Amen. Dominus vobiscum,
et spiritu tuo,
sustum corda,
habet salvum,
gratias segamus Domino Deo nostro,
dignum et just,
benedignum et justum est, acum et salutare, nos tibi semper et ubique gratias agere, Domine Sancte Pater omnipotens aeterni Deus, per Christum Dominum nostrum, cuius hoc merificum fuit opus per speciali mysterium, ut e peccato et mortis iugo ad onc gloriam vocaremur, qua nunc genus electum, regale sacerdotium, gens sancta et acquisitionis populus diceremur, et tuas annunciaremus ubique virtutes, qui nos de tenebris ad tuum admirabile lumen vocasti, et ideo cum angelis et archangelis, cum trones et dominationibus, cumque omni militia celestis et exercitus, hymnum gloriae Tuae canimus, sine fine gitentes. Vere sanctus est Domine, fons omni sanctitatis, ec ergo dona quesmus, Spiritus Tui rore sanctifica, o nobis corpus et sanguis fiat, Domini nostri Iesu Christi. Qui cum passione voluntarie traderetur, accepi panem, et gratias angens fregit, dedique discipulis suis dicens. Accipite et manducate, ex hoc omnes, hoc est enim corpus meum, cor pro vobis tradetur. simile modo, post continuatum est, accipiens et calicem, iterum tibi gratias angens et discipuli suis dicens. Accipite et bibite exio omnes, hic est enim calice sanguinis mei, novit aeterni testamenti, qui pro vobis et promutis effundetur, in remissionem peccatorum, hoc facite in mem commemorationem. Mysterium Fidei. Sititor mortis et resurrectionis eius, tibi Domine panem vitae, et calicem salutis offerimus, gratias agentes qui nos dignus abuisti, estare coram te et tibi ministrare, et supplices te precamur, et ut corporis et sanguinis Christi participes, a Spiritus Sancto congregemur in unum. Recordare, Domini, ecclesiae Tue toto orbe defusse, ut eam in caritate perficias, unicum Papa nostro Francisco et Episcopo nostro David et universo clarum. Memento etiam frastum nostrorum, quinque resurrectionis dormierunt, omniumque in tua mitteratione defunctorum, et eos in lumen vutus tua admitte. Omnium nostrum quesumus miserere, ut cum beata Degenetrice Virgine Maria, beato Iosuf eus Sponso, beatis Apostolis in omnibus sanctis, qui tibi a seculo plaquerunt, aeterne vitae meriamores et consortes, et te laudemus et glorificemus, per Filium Tuum, Iesum Christum. Per ipsum et cum ipsum in ipso, est tibi Deo Patri omnipotenti, in unitate Spiritus Sancti, omnis honor et gloria, per omnia saecula saeculorum. Precepti salutaribus moniti, et viniciutioni formati, ademus dicere, Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimitte nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo. Libera nos, quesumus Domine, ab omnibus malis, da propitius patem in diebus nostris, ut ope misericordiae tua adiuti, et a peccato simus semper liberi, et ab omni perturbatione securi, expectantes beatum spem, et aventum Salvatoris nostri Iesu Christi. Domine Iesu Christi, qui existi apostolis tuis, pacem vinco vobis, pacem meam do vobis. Ne despicias peccata nostra, sed fidem ecclesiae tui, eamque segrum voluntatem tuam, pacificari et coordinari digneris, qui serenas in saecula saeculorum. Amen. Pax Domini sit semper vobiscum.
Et cum spiritu tuo.
separare permitas. Ecce agnus Dei, ecce qui tollit peccata mundi, beati quia caelum advocati sunt. Domine nostrum dignus, presente sub tectum meum, sit tantum decredibo, et senabitur anima mea.
Cantabor Domino, qui bona tribuit mihi. Usque quod Domine oblivisceris me in fine, usque quod vertis faciem tuum. Amen. Cantabor Domino, qui bona tribuit mihi. Usque quod bonam consilia in anima mea, dolorem in cordem meo perdiem, usque quod
Oremos. Per ex sacramenta Domine, Christi participes effecti, clementiam tuam humiliter imploramus, ut eius imaginis conformes in terris, et eius consortes in celis fieri meriamur, qui te convivit et regnat in unitate Spiritus Sancti, Deus per omnia saecula saeculorum. Amen. Dominus vobiscum. Benedica vos omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus. Amen. Ite missa est.
Christ,
Esa es la lectura de hoy. ¿Cuál es? Jeremías. Sí, ¿verdad? Ok, gracias. ¿Lo puedo poner?